Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Time for our weekly craft and chat. Hello, hello, hello. We'll give it a minute for peeps to come in. Then we're going to get started. We got a lot to do tonight. We're doing lots of. Trying not to get the iPad in the way there. So let's see who all is going to join us tonight. As you're coming in, be sure to say hello so we can welcome you. I see the numbers are popping up, but I'm not seeing the people. Don't be shy. Don't be creeping. All right. So happy Thursday. My goodness, feels like we were just at Thursday, right? And happy April 20th, 2023. Certainly has been quite a change in the weather around here. Hi, Marcia. Welcome from Texas. How's it doing in Texas? What kind of weather you guys having there? We kind of had summer weather, and then we went back to winter weather, and now we're kind of spring weather. I don't think Mother Nature knows what she wants to do. It's just been a little off kilter. I cut my grass about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Last week? I think I got to cut my grass again, and kind of not really feeling it like I want to. But anyhow, well, we're going to get started. As people come in, they could come on in and catch up. Cloudy and rain. Well, we do have sunshine at least, and it was in the 60s today. So I didn't have to turn the heat back on. I did have to turn it on a little bit yesterday because it did get chilly. I was going through my mail, and I found a couple cards, and I'm not sure if I shared them or not. So if you saw them before, just enjoy them again. And if I haven't shown them, then yay. So here's a card I received from a friend of mine, and I'm thinking I may have shown Jerry's card before, but I'm not sure. So this is from my friend Jerry. This was a previous paper pumpkin kit with the butterflies and everything, and just a note of hope, and she sends a little thinking of you notes inside. So thank you so much, Jerry, if you're watching. I don't know why I'm thinking maybe now that I said that I might have shown that one before. So anyhow, next up, I have a card from my friend Kathy. Let me get this little note out of here. No, Carol. I'm sorry. I don't know why I say Kathy. Carol. And this is one of my favorite sets. This DSP, I loved it. The pansies. And the pansies are carrying over, so you will see them. However, the paper has retired. And I love the folds on this. Just a little note. Hi from me. Where would I be without a friend like you? And she always doesn't sign anything inside. She usually puts a little note inside, and then the card can be used. Sometimes you just need a quick card, and, you know, being a demo, you may not have any. I'm joking about that, because, you know, we always have cards. And boy, there goes a jet. There's a huge stream in the sky. The sky is kind of gray, but the sun is out. But it's really standing out. Next up, we have sending love and big hugs. And this came from my friend Cindy. And I love this set. And I'm so glad it's carrying over. Along with the Whimsy dies, they're carrying over too. And it almost looks like it would be a fuzzy felt when you see it in person. So Cindy sent some thoughts and prayers my way. And I really do appreciate that. She as well just used a big post-it note in here. I think it's a post-it note. And you can go ahead and glue something over that to resend it. And next from Mary, I know I haven't shown this one because this one just came. It looks like spring. And I love this little bird in the nest. And I'm so happy that that too is carrying over along with the punch. It's super fun. And that little bird just makes me happy. And this came from Mary, if I didn't say that. So thank you so much, Mary, for sending me this happy, well, I'm not going to even put it back in there, happy card. So thanks everyone for sending out the happy mail. I really do appreciate it. I'm hoping I can hang out for this entire event because I was having a little bit of intestinal distress. Hello, Sherry from North Carolina. Hello, Kathy. Welcome. A little bit of intestinal distress, so I'm hoping all goes well and I don't have to like run out of here. So in case I have to end the live really quick, you'll know why, because there might not be any time to reason to say why. But just saying. Okay, so when I was trying to think of what to come up with tonight, I just could not decide. So going through some of my retired products, friends are like seashells. And I thought, you know what, that is just perfect to share that. There are also dies that go along with it. And also an embossing folder. And it's a 3D embossing folder. So I thought, oh, that'll be easy. I'll come up with something and everything will be good. I'm going to tell you, I struggled. I was still this morning coming up with ideas as to what to come up with. But I think you'll be happy. So I thought, first off, let's go with something super simple. I have my water off to the side here. And I thought, let's do a little dragging. I'm going to do a little craft pad dragging. So I thought this was really pretty. I saw another demo that had done it, and it's using our white craft pad, which we hardly ever use. And this little silver, and what is it called? I always have to look because I never remember. Where are we at? Metallic mesh ribbon. I thought it reminded me of like nautical kind of thing. And I did it with black, but the one I'm going to do is going to be with navy. So just a cute, simple little card doing some dragging. So the first thing I did was I took this into the folder, ran it through the Big Shot, and I have this real pretty embossed piece of Night of Navy cardstock. And is this my... yeah, I'm using up my, yeah, now the words aren't going to come to me tonight, shimmer white cardstock, because have you noticed that's retiring? So I want to use it up, and also it's a real nice weight, and I just thought it would be something fun. So now when I ran this through the folder, I cut it 4 by 5.5. So all I have to do now is I have to do a little trimming, but before I trim, I want to do some dragging. And I thought I would pull in some of the ink colors, this one being the Orchid Oasis, even though it looks blue, so it could kind of pass for either or. Okay, so let me get a piece of scrap paper, and I'm using the Whisper White Craft Stampin' Pad. So this is a lot different than our regular ink pads because you can use it for embossing, and it's a pigment ink. So when you're doing this technique, you want to use the end that doesn't have the pool part. You want the end that the ink pad goes right to the end. And all you want to do with this is you're just going to drag your ink pad. So isn't that fun? I'm just going to drag it very lightly, very light pressure. And I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to do this side. Now, if you really wanted to, you can go ahead and throw some embossing powder on that. That would give you a totally different look. Let me do it a little bit more. Now, keep in mind, this is a pigment ink, so this is going to not dry instantly. But it almost looks like you took sandpaper and you sanded down the front of your cardstock. And if you like that kind of look with a sanded down cardstock, you're in luck, because in the new catalog we have a few sheets of paper that the inside of them, the core of the cardstock is white inside. So when you tear it, you get a white edge instead of color all the way through. And I think that's going to be really fun. So now I am carefully going to be trimming this down to 4 by 5 1/4. Let me cut the top of it. Get your choice, whatever, top or bottom. There we go. But isn't on many of the pen they show here. So the images, what does that say? 75%. So they're much larger than they show on the cover, because they wouldn't be able to get them all in if they had them full 100%. Okay. So let's see what's going to fit, if that one's going to fit or not. Yeah, I think it will. All right, I'm just going to use Memento ink. You can use Night of Navy if you like, but I'm just going to use, and it's going to be the friends are like seashells. You collect them along the way. Isn't that true? That's so true, and that's just going to fit on there. So good. Let me just give it a try. All right, looks good. Some of my ink pads I've been working on refreshing them by adding re-inker to them, because sometimes, you know, from using them a lot, they tend to dry out a little more. So you may have to do that sometimes too. Keep that in mind. If you notice you're not getting a good impression, the first thing you'd want to do is pull out your re-inker, which is why I always recommend, if you buy a new ink pad, to always get the re-inker at the same time. Sometimes changes happen where the inks may not be perfectly the same. It's supposed to be, but you know, this kind of world today, nothing is how it's supposed to be, right? I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of here. And I'm just going to offset this a little bit. And you know, everything I do is crooked anymore. But okay, I think I'll be good there. Alrighty, let's get our card and our base. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in this mesh ribbon. And I'm just going to, top and bottom, add a little bit of tape here. So I hope things are going well for you. Things are pretty good. Getting ready to hopefully do my next round of chemo. Some of my lab work, the numbers weren't too good, so my white blood cells are kind of really low, and what was the other thing? The white blood cells were low, and what was the other thing? My platelets are really low, but they said that they're okay. So what he's doing, he's calling me in an antibiotic to hopefully help out. And I guess it sounds to me like I'm going to be on it for a little while until the numbers get a little bit better. But there we go. Isn't that cute? I'm going to use some dimensionals. So if all goes well, I had blood work on Monday, but they're coming back again next Monday, this coming Monday, to take more blood work of chemo. So, but it is just an overhead knot, and trim this. Oh, it looks like I got stuck there for a minute. Did y'all see that? Did it get stuck, or was it just my iPad? All right, let's trim that, and let me pull in a glue dot. Your internet is dragging. You know, it might be me, because I saw all of a sudden my picture was not moving. So it might be me. You know, Service Electric is bummers sometimes. Yeah, I hope they help too. You know, that's one of the drawbacks of the chemo is it plays around with your numbers. But anyhow, we'll see what happens. Hello, Carol. I just showed one of your cards that you sent me. All right, so here's our first card with a little bit of ink dragging. And I think it came out really cute, really fun, something quick and easy to do. And I love the shimmer white cardstock. It just, I'm not sure it shows up on camera, probably not, but it has a little bit of shimmer to it. And I think I'm using it maybe again. So that's card one. So easy, that's an easy peasy card. Okay. I feel so thirsty lately. I don't know. Okay. So, next card. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go with the less messy card. How about that? The less messy. Less mess. How's about that? This I could put off to the side. I don't think I'm using that again. I heard a loud crash this morning, which, you know, with a cat in a house, sometimes you have that. I had no idea what it was until I ended up coming upstairs and my whole big tray of ribbon was knocked over. So one of the ribbons in there was this one, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to use this. This one, I believe, is retired, and it's the Snowflake Splendor ribbon. Now, my ribbon, I hardly ever get rid of because there's always a reason, you know, to use ribbon. Even though it might not still be available for customers, I could still use it, just like you all can still continue to use what it is that you have. All right. I'm going to need the pink one too. Okay. All right, so here is our next card. Isn't that pretty? Do you love this? And it says, love you to the beach and back. And then I put a little sand dollar on the inside. And can you see the shimmer on there? There's a shimmer to it. We used to have that shimmer cardstock. It was kind of opalescent, and I really do miss it because I really liked it. But we got to work with what we have. So for this card, I am using, again, the shimmer white cardstock. And the base of the card is going to be very vanilla, and it's the thick very vanilla. I kind of like when I'm doing something a little bit thinner to give a little more weight to the base card. So that's what our base card's going to be. And we'll put that aside. And we will put that aside. This is the sea foam, which I hardly ever use. And now it's retiring. Go figure. Okay. So the shimmer white cardstock. What I'm going to do with this, and I have to remember because I forget the techniques I did. I know, it stinks to get old. Don't get old. All right, so let's see. I need the blue one. All right. I'm going to be using Granny Apple Green. I'm going to be using Balmy Blue and Fresh Freesia. And how many of you are excited that Fresh Freesia is hanging around? I know I am. And I'm also going to be using Flirty Flamingo. Excuse me. So I'm going to start, and I'm using, I know, I'm not using Stampin' Up! Brushes because I don't have enough of them. I only have a couple of them, so don't tell anyone. But I got to use what I got to use. All right, so first off, Flirty Flamingo. I love these brushes. Of course, Stampin' Ups are much nicer. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to lightly do a little bit of shading. Very light. If you go light, you can always go back and add a little more if you like. I think that's good. And I'm not sure what ones I need for the next card. Okay, so Flirty Flamingo. Next, I'm going to go with the Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to add a little bit of Fresh Freesia. And it's a good thing to do is to overlap your colors because then you kind of get another color. And I'm just going very lightly. Okay. Next one is Balmy Blue. And every time you do this, it's going to come out different because it just depends on what color you put where, how heavy you are, how light you are with your coloring. And the final one is going to be Granny Apple Green. So I sat here at my desk after I came up with my card samples for today, and I had a huge bin. How many of you have a huge bin that you just throw your scraps all the time? Well, I do. And I sat through picking out what was retired, putting them on a pile, what was current, and separating them. So the big bin is no longer. And I felt so accomplished when I did that because I thought, wow, that was a lot of work. Let me show you. I had this longer burger basket loaded where it was falling over with pieces when you cut and you leave pieces and half cards and quarter cards. And so I was so excited it was all cleaned up. Quite an accomplishment. Okay, so now this looks real pretty like this. But what I want to do is I'm going to run it through. Now let me think. I want to run it through and cut it first. And I'm going to use this huge big die. I'm going to cut it first with the big die. And I have my cut and emboss machine over here on the side. So let me just... It's just too heavy for me to be picking it up and dragging it over. So I think you'll all be okay knowing all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it and then I'll show you it. Okay. So I ran it through the machine and you just pop this out. So this whole set is retiring. So if this is something that's been on your list, you don't want to wait. I did not check to see if it's still available, but it was as of the other day. Okay, so we have a few little ones that are still hanging around there. Let me get my tool to kind of poke them out. Couple down here. Some of them just don't want to leave the paper. If I ran it back through the second time, they would have fallen out. Now, how many of you notice that your dies get like this, loaded with paper? What do you do to get them out? Instead of taking the time to poke them, just bang it on your table. See how they pop out? So they'll all pop out for you. I'm not going to take the time to do it all right now, but I will clean up my mess because they do fly all over, but that's okay. Oh, there's the lady in the box. So isn't that pretty like that? So we're going to take it another step further, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the Seashells 3D embossing folder, and I'm going to put this in the folder so that it aligns up with the cutout image. Let me just take a look here to make sure I have it all lined up. Hold on a second. I gotta put it close to me so I can see. Okay, so all lined up. Now I'm gonna run it through the machine. So this is a 3D embossing folder. So you want to use this plate, which is number 4. So you're going to use your big bottom plate and your die and your number 4 and run that through the machine. If you feel that it's not embossed enough, you can always add a little shim to make it a little bit deeper embossed. Let me move all this out of the way. Okay, so then when you take it out, there are your seashells all embossed. Now, if you wanted to use this, and before you run it through the machine, you wanted to stamp all these, so you could stamp all these shells, all you got to do is run it through the die cut, then go ahead and stamp over your images, then run it through the cut and emboss machine, and then you could just trim out all these shells and make another card, and that could be real pretty. Excuse me. But I love how it turned out. So we want to make it a little shimmery. So a while back we sold this all-purpose frost white. It's kind of an ink. We don't sell it anymore, but you could still get it online on Amazon. And it says, let me get the name of this. All-purpose ink for fantastic frost white, suitable all porous surfaces such as paper, fabric, wood, leather, and many more. And it's made by, Kiko. If you could see the name of that. Let me make sure you can see that. Wait, a little further down or up? I have to wait for the delay. Maybe up. And it's not focusing. Okay, well, I'll put it in the comments on the Facebook page. So anyhow, when you shake it, there's a little ball inside. So what I did is I took one of our shimmer spray, not shimmer spray, one of our spray bottles that we sell, and I put some of this in the spritzer, and I added some alcohol to it, and shake it up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz my paper. Oh. Let me get it better on here. It should be coming out a little better than that. It's kind of clogged up a little bit. Okay, let me turn it over. So it has alcohol and it has the shimmer paint in there. Okay, so this will dry pretty quick because it's alcohol. Let me see if I missed any spots. Okay, I'll set that aside while we finish the rest of the card. So by the time, we're about ready to finish up, it should be dry. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I need my ribbon, which I already tied the bow. I just need to trim it. Like so. I'm sure when Dory went and hit that whole basket of ribbon, she probably scared the crap out of her. I'm just going to take a towel on here just to kind of, you could use your heat tool if you want, just to dry it a little bit, because I really did saturate it. So let me lift it up. And again, this is on the shimmer white cardstock, excuse me, but I'm not sure if you could see the shimmer to it. I'm not really sure if it's showing up. Where are you guys at? Let me stand up so I can see where I'm at in the picture here. If you could see the shimmer on there or not. So I love it. I think it's great. So I'm going to get this out of the way because that's a little wet. And then what I want to do is I want to put this all up on dimensionals. So let me finish up these dimensionals. It's still a little bit wet. But the reason I like the shimmer white is because it has a little bit heavier consistency than the basic white. Especially if you're going to be doing any spraying of shimmer paint on it. Let me get my scissors. Trim off some of these. I just need a small one up here. Hold that down. Let's see, where else? One here. And don't be stingy with your dimensionals, because you want them to definitely, let me get my card out, see what I did. You want them definitely to be able to hold up your image. Okay, so let me glue this on to here. So I thought this was appropriate. I see a lot of people posting about making plans for those summer vacations, people going to the beach, and I think this would be a real cute card or a great way to add embellishment to your scrapbook pages. All right, let me lift off my dimensionals. Some of them are lifting up a little bit because the cardstock is still a little damp. But if I wasn't live, I would set this aside and work on something else. But okay, there we go. Okay, so this is going to go on top of our cardstock. Isn't that pretty? Look at how pretty that came out with that shimmer. Shimmer, shimmer, Cocoa Pop, right? Okay, so then I have Love You to the Beach and Back, and I need more dimensionals. Let me grab another. Is this the small ones? Yeah. Oops, turn my light out. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to raise this up on dimensionals. And put this right here. And then my little bow. And I put my little bow. Oh, there it is. I've been noticing that lately. I mean, things are right in front of my nose and I'm looking all over the place. I hope that's not a sign of something for me and something that happens to everyone. But there's that shimmery bow. And then I have this little sand dollar that I'm going to use dimensionals on that as well. And I'm going to put that on the inside. So this is just a fun card. A way to use up some of your shimmer white if you've had it and hoarding onto it for a while. So I'm just going to put that little sand dollar right on the inside, raised up on dimensionals, because no one said you have to use them only on the outside. And there we go. There's our Love You to the Beach and Back. And here was my original one. So you could see the difference in the colors, just depending on what color you went a little darker with, a little lighter with. But I think that is such an adorable, beautiful, beautiful card. And the shimmer spray makes it. So definitely look in to see if you could find some of this. Or maybe you already have it in your stash and you haven't used it. And this one says Frost White. And it's all-purpose ink. And like I said, it has a little ball inside. I'm not sure if you could hear that. But you just need to put a few drops into your spritzer with alcohol and then shake it up and spritz away. So I love that card. Okay, let me get another drink. Now I have one more card to share with you. This one is, I'm going to be honest, this one is messy, 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 but it is worth every bit of mess. All right, let me see what colors I need for this. For this one, I'm going to be going with Daffodil Delight. I'm going to be going with Tahitian Tide. So I have one for each. Starry Sky. And what was the other color I used? I think I used Flirty Flamingo, I believe. We'll find out. Where is my Flirty Flamingo? Did I use Flirty Flamingo? Maybe I didn't. Alright, Flirty Flamingo. So let me get that one. Alright. Okay, so we got all them. Alright, let me show you the card. Let me get the ribbons out. Okay, so I am using Starry Sky for my background. And again, another piece of shimmer white. One for the inside, one for the outside. And check this card out. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, do you love this card? Just think of all the embossing folders, and the embossing folder is what does it. Embossing folders that you may have that you can use this technique with. Super fun. I hope I remember how to do it because it is a brand new card to me. All right, so I need one piece for the inside, which I'm going to have to trim that down. Let me trim it down. Yeah, that one's trimmed down already. And that one has a little bit of ink on it, but that's okay. So the shimmer white is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So you need 2 of those. The blade popped out a little bit. Okay. Oh, I got stuff all over me here. Okay, I'm going to turn this. Well, I could just use it like that. That's okay. All right, so here we go, folks. You ready? So we're kind of doing what we did before. We're going to start off with Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to make it bright, bright, bright. As bright as you can go. I'm not even tapping off. Just going to go bright. And just put your colors around wherever it is you want to go. You want to go in and add a little bit more. Because I think it looks best when it's bright, bright, bright. Okay, so let's go with our Flirty Flamingo. And this idea is not mine. This idea I got from Lisa Freeman. I don't know if any of you follow her. She's a demonstrator in Virginia. And when I saw this card, I thought, oh my gosh, I have got to do that card. So I'm not sure if she's the original person that came up with it, but I'm going to give her credit because that's where I saw it. And I know it looks like a hot mess right now, but don't worry, it'll get better. Okay, some of our Tahitian Tide. And overlapping is fine. And if you find that you want a certain color a little bit more, go ahead in and add a little more. So I'm not sure how many of you, if any of you, have seen this technique before, but it is beautiful. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow because my yellow kind of turned into orange. Okay. Here we go. Let me close all these up. Because, you know, Sue can get into trouble with too many things in front of her. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get our embossing folder. And instead of putting it in this way, you want to put it in so this is facing the back. Okay, so you're going to put it in that way, and I'm going to run it through the machine again. If I could find my number 4, I'm going to run it through the embossing machine. So think of all the embossing folders you may have and how fun this could be. Think about for the holidays, using different colors. I'm going to run it through a few times. Okay, so here we are. Ready? Ta-da! So now it still doesn't look like the sample. So what we're going to do is with this facing upwards, we're going to take our starry sky and we're going to be doing more dragging this time, more dragging. So we're going to drag this down. This is where the magic happens. I'm going to turn my paper and drag it down. Look, it's almost like it was magical, doesn't it? So Lisa, I don't know if you watch my videos, but I just want to thank you for this technique. Whoop. Hold on to it. Notice I kept this one for last. And just go lightly. I'm not really pressing a whole lot. And depending on how deep you want that color to go, how many times you swipe over. I think I'm good with that. Close this up. So look at that. Isn't that pretty? And I did good because I remembered to do it the right way. Isn't that stunning? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let me just, where's my hand sanitizer? Because I don't want to get ink all over everything. And hand sanitizer is a great thing to use when you're crafting, so you don't get ink all over everything. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. And I'm not sure if I trim this down or not. Let me see. Nope, I have to trim this down just a teeny bit. A teeny bit. Let's see where we're at here. I'm at 4. So I'm going to do, let's see, 2 lines before the 4. Who all's good at reading rulers? I can't get it in there here. I'm struggling here. Okay, here we go. And 5 1/4, so 2 lines. Math is not my thing. We all know that, right? You know how I struggle with math. And let's see, I just want a little smidgy showing. Yep, that's good. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to glue this puppy together. So we're using the deboss side. This is the emboss side, and to spread the ink, you're using it all on the deboss side. All right, let's put this on here. Turn it over. Oh, love it. And let's get this going. And put this on the front. And let me see, here's my packet of goodies. So when I was creating, I just kept cutting and doing, and I know I have a saying in here because I saw it and I meant to pull it out and I did not. And I do have, oh, there it is, I see it. Nope, not that one. Well, I could use this one, wishing you the very best. But I know I have a birthday one in here. There it is. That's the one I want. Okay, let me just move that aside. Okay, where did it go? There it is. Okay, so let me show you a little fun thing you can do. I'm going to take Tahitian Tide, and I could put this on the card just like that, but I felt it needed something. So I'm just going to tap it into my ink pad. And this I cut out, I stamped and cut out with the decal edge dies. And there it gave a little bit of color without having to add any more layers. So I'm going to put that up on dimensionals. Dimensionals, here they are. Let me do the inside, give that a moment. I had an inside. Huh, did I put it in here? No. I thought I had it inside. Oh well, I guess I don't. I thought I did. All right, well, never mind then. I'll find it when I'm cleaning up, I'm sure. But on the inside, I was just going to do a little stamp on the inside, but I don't know where it went, or maybe I didn't have one. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll do it later. Add a few dimensionals to the back. Now shimmer spray would be nice on this too, but I'm afraid the colors may run. So if you were thinking, do some shimmer spray, I don't want my colors to run. So happy birthday to my beautiful friend. And then I'm just going to use this seam binding ribbon, which I'm so sad that it's leaving because I use it for everything. And then this was another ribbon from a ribbon pack. It's a twine that has some silver in it. And I'm just going to use the two of them together and tie a bow. Let's see how good my bow skills are tonight. Okay, let's try that again. You'll see why I usually do my bows ahead of time, because I tend to struggle sometimes with bows. Bows used to be my thing to do, but lately I tend to struggle a little bit. Let me trim that up a little bit. Oh, come on. My pin and my ribbon. That was another good reason that I started using pins to hold these ribbons, because when Dory knocked that whole basket over, it would have really been a total mess, because she would have had all the ribbons rolling along, and it would have been a lot worse. I'm going to use a little glue dot. Take my little bow to the glue dot and put that right there. Like that. And you know what, I have a couple of these left from my paper pumpkin this month. Let me get rid of that. So let me take the pick tool, add a few of these just to give it a little more bling. This one there. Oh, now it's stuck to my finger. Okay. Sometimes the simple things in life. There's one there. Let's put one here. And I think I want to do a couple more. I think I'm going to do 5. One up here. And I'm not sure. I want to say you're probably not able to see it, but I used the shimmer white paper, and underneath the shimmer is just coming through. I'm sure it's not showing up on the camera, but the shimmer white has that little bit of shimmery through it, and it definitely shows up. It almost looks like you took a little wink of Stella and covered it. But here's the two of them, so depending on how you do your color, what do you guys think? Isn't that gorgeous? I'm telling you, Lisa Freeman, if you're watching, you rock, girl, because that is a great, great, great technique. All right, folks, let me clean up a little bit here so that I can go over what it is we did here tonight. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad they all turned out like they were supposed to. Let me get the other cards. Okay. And it's quite a mess on this desk. Let me make some room. So we use the seashells. Let me get them all here. The friends are like seashells, and there is an embossing folder which is called Seashells 3D embossing folder, and there are dies, the seaside shell dies. Now it comes with this big background piece, but it also comes with a starfish, the sand dollar, a shell, and then these two little ones will cut out the this little seaweedy kind of thing. But it's a really beautiful set. If you don't have it, make sure you get it before it is gonzo, because it's gonna go. And this folder is absolutely beautiful, the seashell embossing folder. So if you are a beachy person and you don't have that one, you need that in your life. Okay, so here are these two cards. Let me get my bone folder. You notice if you use a bone folder, it helps to keep your card closed. It's best to use on the front. I'm going to try to do that. There we go. See how it keeps your card nice and closed? So there's those two. These two with the shimmer. Shimmer, shimmer, shimmer. Let me see if I could get them all in. And then these two with just some white craft dragging after you run it through the embossing machine. So you can do a lot of different techniques. The wood embossing machine, the wood embossing folder will look really cool with like a early espresso or crumb cake. The fern one would be great with greens. I mean, there's so many. There's the one that has all the bricks that would look like real bricks depending on what color you used. But I think these all came out beautiful. I absolutely love, love, love them all. And I hope you do too. So what do you guys think? Hi, Mary. Almost like Joseph's, yes, it is. I think it's called St. Joseph's coat, I think. So beautiful, love the technique. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. OMG. So cool, yes, magical. Looks like fluorescent stuff at a pet store. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Oh my goodness, you're so right, it does. And I just made my screen on here dark. Hi, Betty, wow. Hi, Kay. That's your favorite. Beautiful card, love it. Feels such a sense of accomplishment when I can use up the edges of the pop-ups. Yeah, very pretty, great idea. Use it for scrapbooking, of course. Anything you use for card making can be used in scrapbooking as well. All right. You could see the, oh, you see the shimmer? Great, that's great. The shimmer white cardstock helps out a lot too. I'm not sure if it's sold out yet, but it is on retiring list. And don't miss out. You'll want to definitely grab it because you can see, in person, you can see the shimmer right through, even though there's a lot of ink on there. You can see it right through. And I think it's real pretty. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate it. I will go ahead and take pictures of everything so that you'll be able to see it up close. And yeah, next week, what's next week going to be? Is the 27th of April. It's going to be our last Thursday of the month. Oh my goodness. And then we'll be into May. So as long as everything goes good, I'll let you know if I will be live next week. I'm hoping that yes, I will. But if I start the next round of chemo drugs and I'm kind of not really feeling my best, we'll see what happens. I will work toward feeling my best so I don't miss out. And I'm not sure what all I'm going to share with you next week, but it'll be something fun. This was I wasn't sure, and I think the cards came out great. I absolutely love them, and I have to say, these two are my favorite. This one is pretty too, but you know, whatever you like. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Be safe out there. And have a wonderful weekend. And until next week, we'll see you then. Bye, everyone.